Samson Hunkin, 24, killed on the Somme at the Battle of Fleur-Courcelette, near the village of Goudecourt.
He died with his friend, Arthur Burt, from Mevagissey.
William Samuel Hunkin, 22.
He was the first to die. He was a long way from home, in faraway Cameroon.
WildWorks' process to develop shows is always very deeply connected with place and people. There's a very deep connection between these gardens here at Heligan and the First World War. 13 gardeners went to war and only 4 came back.
It was actually me who initiated the connection with WildWorks back in 2013, in the very early days of exploration. Tim Smit and John Nelson, who were the pioneers, the first pioneers in here, motivated to find out what had happened to the gardens and why they had become overgrown and derelict. They were exploring here in this walled garden, which was full of bramble and self-set trees, absolutely impenetrable, cut their way into this corner and then on up to the far corner, working their way through the brambles, and discovered a little cottage with a cubicle below, and it was completely full of rubble. The roof had collapsed in, but they had a sense that this particular corner had some sort of significance, and they really beavered away as though their lives depended on it, trying to haul out the rubble. And eventually the top of the wall emerged, the old lime plaster, and they started to spot signatures on the wall. But as they reduced the level of the rubble, more and more signatures occurred. And it was a pretty magical moment. I was with them, and we had a sense of the people who used to work here in the past. And we could actually read their names and the names that they had signed themselves. So we put a call out to local families to see if there were any relatives of these men, linking the surnames in the Thunderbox room with local names. And we had people come forward with their own personal archive, letters from the King, thanking them, the families, for their relatives' service, photographs of men in uniform. And so we started to make these names on the wall into real people.
Obviously, we're talking about people who took part in the First World War from this very small area of Cornwall. And the interesting thing is that, of course, it's 100 years ago, so what we're dealing with is secondary memory. Nobody really remembers. They remember what they have been told, or there may be some records, or there may be a letter. And out of those tiny fragments, the process then is to create a narrative that has depth and humanity.
We really wanted people to go away from 100 UnEarth with a sense that the future might be okay and that we really might be able to make a difference and offer a path forward. So the historical research has been fed into the content of the show, but not into the conclusion. And when I saw the show the other night for the first time, what they've achieved is the simplest of all conclusions, but it is really powerful, and you do come away with a sense that, yes, we can look forward and we can make things better for the people who have suffered loss.
George Moore, 21, wounded in the 1918 German Spring Offensive near the village of Jontel.
His young wife found love again, but never forgot him.